In the previous tutorial, we had implemented authentication, email verification and password reset. We also learned about implementing manual authentication, middleware, and used Mailtrap for sending reset and verification emails. Now what we want to do is create a new column, user ID, and relate it to users table with a foreign key. So a user can only access their to-dos, and not other to-dos. We will implement one-to-many and many-to-one relationship. Lastly, I want you guys to learn image upload. So we will create a new column, image, in users table, and upload image to the Laravel public disk. Most of the times, a table relates to another table. Eloquent provides several different types of relationships. For managing those table relationships, they are many relationships, but we will only talk about the easy ones. One-to-many and many-to-one. So, let's discuss about one-to-many. One-to-many relationship is used when there's a model that owns any amount of other model. In our application, there's our user model that can own any amount of Todo models. Another example, post model that can own any amount of comment models. Eloquent relationships are defined inside the models. Before defining the relationship, we need to define the foreign key column in our to-dos table. So let's create a new migration. So, going back to our terminal and type this command. PHP, artisan, make, migration, add user ID column and foreign constraint to-dos table equals to-dos. Now press Enter key. When creating migrations, its name should define what it's doing. When you are trying to update an existing table, you need to use --table instead of --create, which will assume that we are updating an existing table. Open the newly created migration file and inside up method add this code. You cannot create a foreign key inside a table with rows, so we are first truncating the table and then creating a new column. We also have schema, table, instead of schema, create. And that's because schema, create, is used for a new table. And schema, table, is used for updating an existing table. Inside schema, table, we are creating an unsigned big integer column named user_ID. After that, we are creating a foreign key constraint on user_ID. For our down method, we will first drop the foreign key and then user_ID column. To drop foreign keys, you can pass the column names as an array to the $table to drop foreign method. Let's run the migrations in our terminal. PHP, artisan, migrate. Now we can define the relationship inside the Todo model. Has many is the one-to-many relationship, and we are using $this. Because Laravel models are extending Eloquent models. First parameter of a relationship is the model. And second parameter is the foreign key, which is optional and by default. Laravel will try to determine the foreign key. By the model name, for example, user underscore ID and todo model, if it relates to user model, or post ID and comment model if it relates to post model. You can retrieve all the to-dos related to a certain user by calling the relationship as a property. Here we are first retrieving the user with an ID of 1. And then we are retrieving all the to-dos that belongs to that specified user. All the Eloquent relationships are query builders, so we can chain them with constraints. For example, we want to retrieve only completed to-dos, so we can chain it with where method. When adding constraints, use them as a method, not property, like this. Now we want to show only user-related to-dos, so open the to-dos controller and modify the index method. Instead of retrieving all the to-dos, we are only retrieving the to-dos that are related to the authenticated user with to-dos relationship. Last thing we want to do is specify the user ID. When creating a todo, modify the store method with this lines of code. Now it's time to discuss about many-to-one relationship. This relationship is the inverse of one-to-many relationship. For example, many todo models can have one user model, or many comment models can have a single post model. Open the todo model and add the following method. Now we will show the name of the user when displaying all the to-dos. Although it does seem stupid to show the name of the user when we already know that todo was created by the authenticated user. But it's just for example. Open the index, blade.php from the to-dos folder and update the markup inside the for else loop. Just like one-to-many relationship, you can access the user that owns the to-dos with $todo then arrow operator and user property. Now we are done with basic relationship concept. It's time to discuss about image upload. Image upload is the last section of our series. Just for demonstration purposes, we will create a profile view, where we can update the profile of a user as well as upload a profile image. Laravel supports local storage as well as cloud storage like S3, Dropbox, and many more. Local storage, also known as the public disk, which simply means that all the uploaded files will be stored in storage directory of our Laravel application. Laravel provides a way to access files from the storage then public directory by creating a symbolic link with artisan command. So we can retrieve these files from the public directory. Now, get back to our terminal window and type this command. php artisan storage link. Now that our storage is linked, we will create a migration for image column, where we will store the image name. Let's type this command inside our terminal window. php artisan make migration add image column to users table table equals users. Open the migration and add a string column with a default value of image.png. Because we don't upload during the user creation, you can also use null instead of a default value. Inside the down method, we will drop the column as specified in above migration. Run the migrations with migrate command. And open the web.php routes file so we can add new routes. Open the navbar, blade.php, and add the profile link inside the drop-down menu. Let's create that profile controller where we will update the profile. PHP artisan make controller profile controller. Let's add auth middleware to our profile controller, so only authenticated users can access the methods. In this controller, we will have two methods: index and update. Index will return a view where we can update the user profile. And update will have the actual logic for updating the user profile. Let's start with index. The update method will have quite a bit of code, so I will be breaking it into a few steps. Validate the form. Don't worry, it's not complicated. Check if the image is uploaded or not. If it is, then upload the new image. And delete the previous image if exists. Lastly, assign it to user image property. Check if the password field is empty. If it is, then keep the old password. Call the save method. And redirect to the specified route. First, import all classes in profile controller. Let's define the update method. Before doing anything in update method, let's look at some request methods for uploaded files. Now everything we will do needs to be put inside the update method. Let's start with validation. Nullable is used for optional fields. So if we leave the password and image field empty, it will still pass the validation. Image rule will check if the uploaded file is an image. And it allows few formats as defined. This time, max will check the file size. And the size is specified in kilobytes, so we are only allowing images that are 1999 kilobits in size. Now we will retrieve the authenticated user. Upload the image and save the user to the database. We have assigned the name and email fields. Now we will upload the image. With Laravel, you can retrieve the full name of the file with getClientOriginalName. And for extension you can use getClientOriginal extension. We are concatenating the extension with uniqueID function, which will generate a unique string. We are also deleting the previous image with storage delete path to filename. And don't worry, storage delete doesn't generate any error if the file is not found. Keep in mind, don't use uniqueID for security purposes. Use random_bytes instead. Now we will check if the password is not empty. And then we will first hashing it and assign it to the password field. If it is empty, then we will keep the old password. Finally, we can call the save method and redirect back. Now that our controller is done, we can create the view, so go to the views directory and create a folder named user. And inside that we will have a view named profile, blade.php. Open that view and add the markup. This view is same as the other views. But we are uploading a file with this form. So we need to specify the enc type attribute of our form. And its value will be multipart form data. Last thing we need to do is display that uploaded image. And we will display it on the user drop-down menu. So open the navbar, blade.php again. And inside the drop-down menu, update with. Since we have created a symbolic link to storage public directory. So now we can use asset helper to generate the URL. Our images are stored inside the pics folder. So we are concatenating the storage pics with image name from the authenticated user. Now, go back to our browser and see how we did with our Toto application. You can see that we have a nice image before the username. We made a drop-down link with our username, and if we click to this drop-down link we can see dashboard, profile and log out. Let's go to the profile and make some changes. Now let's create a todo with our logged in user. Then edit this todo. Then delete that todo. There is an important helper which we did not talk about in this series. And that helper is die and dump helper, which will kill the page. And dump the data passed to it. You can pass a single value as well as an array to dd helper. This helper is very useful in development. That concludes our series, Laravel from scratch. Feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching this series. And don't forget to subscribe my channel. And press the bell icon for more upcoming video tutorials.